want to talk about the news really quick, just to show you that I've been reviewing things and keeping a basic idea. The world is in a lot of chaos right now, and violence, upheaval, a lot of conflict is spilling out into the open. Even these old wounds that were supposed to stabilize, we're told that this is going to be okay over here. It was good for the democracy, good for the people, because we're going to do a regime change, or whatever the case. You see it in Libya now. It's just a hellish thing that we hear about. Everything is burning. So not only is it bad for the people, bad for the nation, bad look to see the people that said it was going to be good, it shows that they are a failure. But as I keep telling you, they don't intend to make things better. They only give you lip service to say that it's going to be better, but in fact, they intend to make it worse by continuing the chaos, extending it so that it's endless war. Okay, these are the people. These are the warmongers that are going on. I don't mind war. I keep telling you that because it's a righteous war. The good has to fight evil. This has to happen. But is that really what's going on? This is the major question you need to ask, and I'm saying no. It's just warmongers. They're not doing this for the righteous reasons. They're not doing for the good reasons. Not out of holiness. They're just fighting wars. Guess why? I'm going to tell you it's because they think they're going to keep making money on it. But I promise you this: all that they're going to gain is their place deep into hell eternally. Whoever they are. I'm not saying any names right now. I'm not really. I'm just giving you a general overview. I really can't extend to that far and get all specific and like this type of thing, because this is not a court. This is just a video. And you will enjoy having this because I give you a foundation of the way I look at it. You compare it to your own, opinion versus opinion. And sometimes I give you something where I can influence you. Libya is not a nice story, okay? Syria, which is another situation. I heard even a few weeks ago there was like a high death toll, even worse than it had been over the last couple of years. Iraq, now we're having big death tolls, and my heart goes out. I actually did a prayer because I felt in myself that it was a terrible, unjust situation that the whole town, including women and children, were up on this mountain where they ran to out of the town, and they could get up into there, but yet they didn't even have the basic survival resources. And their water was running out. Not only that, and they probably didn't have any sufficient food or the way to cook it. And today now I hear they're being airlifted out, some of them, because there's a siege. I mean, it's almost like a Masada scenario, if you know history, Masada. So these people were up there, and they're some of the old and some of the young, those that are vulnerable, were dying because of the lack of water and such. So here you go. Now, you see the continuing thing that's going on now for 1 month. I think it's 31 or 32 days now, which the outright violence is increased to the level that it's a war, it's a slaughter. And I just made a comment on a video on a Reuters news agency where they reported that on a Gazan child who was 9, and she's a daughter of some family, but all of her family members are now gone. Everybody killed in the night in a civilian area, residential. So you tell me, how is this a war on a battlefield? By either side. Even if the Gazans, the Hamas, the extremists, but the Israelis seem a little bit extremist too when they're attacking people when they sleep at night with children. And you're talking, their shields? Really? So everyone's a shield. Millions of people are your shields. So everyone then is shields. Is this a righteous war? Look, I want Israel to fight a holy, righteous war. I want to. I'm the first one that wants this. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't see this. I see a bunch of warmongers who co-opted the situation, took over the situation, hijacked the situation, false ones, false prophets, under false pretenses, just trying to make money. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the whole situation. You do have a lot of chaos going on in Africa also, where I'm hearing about there's various different skirmishes in the various different countries. But the main thing is something of a kind of psychological, biological warfare. Hear those words very carefully, because that's what this whole Ebola campaign is about. They're trying to wipe out as many people as they can in Africa. Now, whether or not they're susceptible, anyone in any city, from China to Australia to America to Brazil to somewhere in Europe, Greek, Italian, whatever cities, British cities, London, Rome, I already said, Berlin, every city would be susceptible. It's not just Africa, and they're saying, oh, Ebola because of what they eat bats. It's not because of that. It's because they're being injected with this thing called biological warfare, okay? You need to understand this stuff. I mean, I understand. I want to get the word out there. That's what we have to face. It's not just what they're putting out on the surface, because that's propaganda, and propaganda is lies. And it's not worth you. It's not worth your time or what you're thinking, what you're being, and what you're reacting to, and what you know that's going on, because you're for truth. So lies are beneath you. All of you, lies are beneath you. And I'm exposing those lies because I can do that. I look at the things and I see that, and I'm telling you. So thanks for listening. I'm a little bit intense right now, as I usually get. Sometimes I do a video where I'm very calm. But I studied a lot of these areas. I'm going to end on this note. You're talking about Europe now in the transition zone between the Middle East, between Asia, and between Europe. And that, my friends, my fellow YouTubers, viewers, is Ukraine, Crimea, just above the Black Sea. And that's why NATO and America and Britain are putting the squeeze, the stranglehold on there. And it's eastern Ukraine, what is formerly known as Ukraine, is people under siege. They're saying they can't get resources. Their life is more difficult. Yeah, I know. They're probably, most of them, just like in New York and LA, they're very lazy. They're very into their comforts, their AC. Push a button, just like Cat Stevens says, you know, where do the children play? Switch on summer from a slot machine. So they don't have this anymore. Oh, you know, if they're old or if they're children, you know, we got to have compassion on them, of course, just like the Gazans. They're fleeing. A lot of them are getting on transportation from Donetsk or wherever it might be, those cities in there, and they're heading into Russia, either around Moscow or wherever it might be. They're fleeing. They have to give up their life. It's very chaotic. It's very unstable. Also, in the other side of Ukraine, where it's the NATO-supported thing, which is instigating most of this, I feel. I don't know the conflict. I don't want to take a side, but the whole Maidan thing and the revolution and blah, 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 just like Egypt, you know, the whole thing is questionable as to who did this. This is not a social grassroots kind of thing, sovereign, the national, real democratic way. That's what they want to put on the surface. This is being manipulated. Here, read my lips, look it up if you don't know. Proxy war. So what's going on now in Kiev is they're trying to, clean up the situation, but there's also a lot of chaos because they don't have everything pinned down. They want you to think so, but they don't. Okay, there's my report. I gave you a few of the points, the real hot spots that are going on in the world now. This is not a good time. The 20th century into the 21st century has not been a good time. We're really in a very wicked period where there's a lot of warmongers going on. But let me tell you something. The biggest war is yet to come. Stay tuned, folks. Thanks for coming with me on my journey. I've sent love out to everybody who takes in even one portion of the truth that I give to you. We are connected. Thanks for listening.